100% of episodes at one point, but I like reach forward and have to touch the screen because somebody inevitably has like a fleck of dust on their face, and it's all I can notice until I flick it off of my screen.
Welcome to the Incoherent Fangirl.
Where we are fangirling because we're talking to our friend Logan with Once Upon a Book Club today.
Yay!
Yay, Logan.
I am Karin from Deathcast.
And I'm Mandy of Basgiath War College.
That's a mouthful.
It is. I got a mouthful too. Don't you worry about me.
I'm ready. I'm ready. What I'm not ready for is this next part.
Let me take my headphones off really quick.
In our timeline, it is April 27th, and in y'all's timeline, it's May 5th. Ew.
That is so exciting though, because May 5th is when I'm going on my bookstore date. So like you guys be
That
really
is
excited for
exciting.
me when you're hearing this.
That's exciting for you. Meanwhile, on May 5th, I am sleep deprived because I was at the hospital at 5 in the morning.
Yeah. Good
Yeah.
vibes though. Manifesting. Most
All the good
important
vibes.
manifestations we could do is good vibes for that day.
All
Health
the good
for
vibes.
everyone.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Before we move on, we do have one very big, exciting announcement. Our dear friend, Robbie Couch, is a New York Times best-selling author.
I thought I was gonna throw up when I read it. I was so excited.
I think I screamed a little bit.
Yeah.
I think
I was
really
sitting
did.
next to Josh and I just turned and looked at him and he's like, "What?" And I was like, "I've had a New York Times best-selling author on my
So congratulations, Robbie. We are so proud of you.
Yes, we are.
Oh my God. Everybody
amazing.
Go pick up If I See You Again Tomorrow by Robbie. I do too.
Do it.
Everybody go pick it up. It's so good. I know that a lot of people are like not big on time loops, but like this is such a fresh take
I'm
on
not, but it's so good.
It's so good. Go pick up your copy. Let's keep him on the bestseller list. That would
Yes.
be very cool.
Okay, and speaking of, I assume this person has to be a New York Times bestseller. Like it could be crazy if he's not. I saw that Christopher Paolini is going to be in Atlanta in a few weeks, and I was telling Josh because like we've had like a really cool encounter with him where he was like guiding me via Twitter how to get to him so we could like meet him and take a photo at Dragon Con years ago. But anyways, he was like, "We should go to that, and you should ask him to be on the podcast," because he was like, he probably actually would, and he'd be excited about it.
Oh my God, that would be so cool.
I might have to go ask Christopher Paolini to come talk to us.
Please do. Please do.
We'll manifest that that's a thing that could happen.
I mean, we've had one New York Times bestseller on the podcast where
you can only go up from there.
I'm just saying maybe the fall has some things
I know
that might be happening.
Things that I may have said. I may have manifested and then Karin might have made happen.
Things happening. Things are happening.
When we are combined, the power is incredible.
It's insane. It's so cool. So once again, congratulations to
Yay,
Robbie. We're so proud of you. We're so happy for you.
So excited.
We love you. Yay. And with that, this week in fangirling. Tell me what you did, Mandy.
Ooh, let me get my notes out. Okay, so I finished Book of Night by Holly Black. Mm-hmm. I'm still confused, but less confused.
Okay.
Of course, it's a Holly Black book, so it had that twist at the end that was sad, and it's like, oh, how are we left here? And I really hope there's going to be a sequel, even though I feel kind of lost. I still am like, I've got to have more. Like you can't end it.
I feel like I saw on Goodreads that it was like a book one, so I think there is.
I didn't look because I was cooking and then I forgot because I have the attention span of a flea. But I did enjoy it, I will say, even though it was very confusing. And Goodreads reviewers will tell you, like, I'm not alone. This was a very, very confusing book. It was still good. It's Holly Black, so it's still enjoyable.
Right.
I was a worthless piece of trash all weekend. Okay, so to be fair, Saturday I got up, I slept in because I woke up kind of with a sore throat. So I got up at like 11 and I moved to the couch and I was like, I'm just going to watch Love is Blind and wallow. 10, 20 minutes later, I start getting a migraine. So I go back to bed until like 4. I was useless all day. But when I got up, I watched Love is Blind for the rest of the day. Let me just say, F you, Arena, F you, Jackie, F you, Paul. tell you about this, okay? And spoiler alert for anybody who's like in the middle of Love is Blind, I'm going to talk about something for a minute, okay? And Karin, this is going to be a spoiler, but I don't think you'll ever watch Love is Blind, and this isn't like a major. I mean, there are going to be. I'm going to majorly spoil it.
It's fine.
Okay,
I'll survive.
let me tell you about Cupcake Gate. So there are two women, Irina and Bliss, and they're both falling for this guy Zach, who is a lawyer. He looks like a Property Brother from TLC or whatever. Like, I'm going to send you a picture later.
I love the Property Brothers.
He looks like one of the Property Brothers. Like, they even did a TikTok together. They look so much alike.
Oh my God.
So it's Zach's birthday, and Bliss, who is a perfect angel, she is gorgeous. She's smart. She's a reader. She's very well spoken, thoughtful, considerate. She gets with production and she's like, I need all of the ingredients to bake him cupcakes.
Aww.
And when we go on our date later today, I want to have cupcakes in his room from me that I made for him. Irina forgot that it was his birthday. So she goes to Bliss and she's like, hey, I forgot it was his birthday. Could I maybe get one of your candles to do something fun with? And Bliss, I was like, she's too nice. She's going to give it to her. She didn't. Mm-hmm. She's like, I don't really feel like it's very appropriate. We're both dating the same man. And while like, that's fine, that's the rules of the game, I still like, we're still in competition for this person. So she says no. But Irina kind of goes in the room with him and she's really catty and kind of manipulative and kind of twists his view of Bliss to where he ends up proposing to Irina. Okay. She says yes. And so they do like a little meeting. As soon as she sees him, she's like, you look like a cartoon character. And he's like trying to kiss her and be affectionate because like that's what you do. Like, this is the person you're supposed to be in love with. You want to hug them and kiss on them and whatever. And she like keeps pushing his face away and like making these really awkward sounds. So once you're engaged, you go on like a week-long trip to Mexico where you can like spend time together. She won't communicate with the man at all. Okay. She's like covering her face and hiding from him. And she just makes these like, she'll go eat instead of talking to him.
Okay.
So he's finally like, this is not the vibe. This is not it. Goes back to Seattle and finds a way to contact Bliss. So it's like a second chance. Thank God she gave him the time of day because I would not have. But she was like, her view is, I was always the first choice. I'm who he's supposed to be with. He just got manipulated and it is what it is.
I mean, fair.
Couldn't be me,
I guess. Not
they
me.
seem they've been married for a year now because like Love is Blind films a year in advance so that they can do a reunion. So they've been married for a year. They seem happy and like perfectly
well, that's good.
Great. It couldn't be me, but I loved it. She's a perfect human being and he is very freaking lucky. So that was like the biggest drama. And then there was one girl who's like engaged to this one guy, but then talking to another guy who was in the pods with her while they're like meeting. She skips her wedding dress fitting to go see the other dude.
What?
Disrespectful.
Oh my God. So messy.
So, I know. It's like I live for messy like that. I love it. And then I watched Vanderpump Rules and Scandival. Like the friend group is starting to sniff out that something is off. Like,
do they not
Raquel,
already know?
In the show, I'm on the episode
behind.
of the
You're
show.
Behind. Oh, okay.
Well, it's the newest episode, but it's months ago now. Because they have to edit and whatever.
Got it.
So like Raquel and Sandoval went to a club together at like 1 a.m. and like somebody else from the friend group was there and they were like, that's weird. So they're starting to see things like that.
Okay.
The other night, Josh was like, Josh comes to bed where I'm peacefully reading and I'm like, he picks up the remote to turn on the TV and I'm like, I know it is like 10:15 and I have to go in the office tomorrow. I know that you don't think you're turning on a movie right now.
I already know the end.
I know you've read this one. So he's like, well, what if it's an Adam Driver movie? And I was like, well, hold on now. Wait a minute now. I'm going to say no to an Adam Driver movie. So he turns on 65. It's gotten some not great reviews. Okay. I've seen pretty mid-level reviews. We really, really liked it. And I would have liked it even if it wasn't Adam Driver. Like, of course I love looking at that man and I'll take any excuse to look at Adam Driver. But even if it had been somebody that I don't find attractive like I find him, I love the concept of the movie because I'm a prehistory nerd. So Adam Driver plays Mills, who is like a space pilot kind of thing. And he has a wife and a daughter who is like maybe between 10 and 12. And they don't ever outright say it, but she has what I would consider cancer of some sort. So she's sick and he's talking to his wife and she's like, you have to take this job. You just have to tell her this is what we're going to be able to do to make you better because they have to have money for treatment. So he's going to take a 2-year-long job transporting people in like cryogenic tanks from one planet to the other to get money to save his daughter. Well, he's got like a full shuttle full of people and he's flying flying it through space, and they're hit by like a mysterious mass that wasn't on any of their radars or anything, and they land on Earth 65 million years ago to us.
Oh.
So they land on Earth when the dinosaurs are there.
Oh, that's an interesting
It's
concept.
so freaking cool.
Okay.
And about 20 minutes into the movie, you're like, I know exactly where this is going. And it is so exciting because for a prehistory nerd, okay, it's so exciting to see a take like this. His vessel that he was in is like ripped in half, and he finds one survivor. It's a little girl about his daughter's age, and she doesn't speak the same language as him. So it's trying to tell her that he's going to protect her and keep her safe because he's got that fatherly instinct, but then trying to get her to follow him when she can't find her family because they're dead, but he doesn't want to tell her that, you know? And there's one escape, like safety escape vessel that he's got like some technology that it's showing him it's on top of this mountain. And so they're trying to get there, and they have some guns, or they look like guns, but they're whatever weapons and technology from his planet. And that's it, to protect himself and her from T-Rexes and raptors and all kinds of chaos. And I freaking loved it. I thought it was such a cool take.
Sounds cool.
I would recommend it. It was really short too. It was like an hour and a half.
Okay.
It wasn't a long movie at all. It was very quick, but it was so good. And Adam Driver was there. Yeah, man. And then the most important thing I have done this week. This is called The Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Karin, this is the best book I've ever read.
In your life?
In my life.
Even that other one?
Yes.
Oh,
this is the best book I have ever read in my life. Okay, so let me tell you about it first. I have notes that I'm going to look at because it's a lot. So our main character is Violet Sorrengail. She's a 20-year-old history nerd, and she plans to enter. So there's the Basgiath War College, which is where I'm from this week, and there are I think there's 4 quadrants because it's quadrants.
Math.
I don't know what the fourth one would be. There's the Writers Quadrant, the Healers Quadrant, the Scribe Quadrant. I don't know that they ever talk about the fourth one, if I'm honest with you. Healers, Infantry, the Infantry Quadrant. Okay. So that must be like ground troops. You never really hear about those. Anyways, she's going to be a scribe. So she's going to be a historian, basically. And she's like, her whole life, her dad was a scribe. So she's like, I'm going to follow my dad's footsteps. I'm going to be a scribe. Until her bitch ass mother, who unfortunately is the general over the entire freaking army, is like, no, I'm going to have to order you to enter the Writers Quadrant to become a dragon rider. And that's where she'll have to fight quite literally for her life to become a dragon rider. And then the ultimate goal is to have a dragon bond with you.
Okay.
And that way, like, you're a dragon and I'm your rider. And there's like it's like almost like a mating bond. Like, you are tied and bound for life. But Violet is not your average human, okay? When her mother was pregnant, she has this sickness that nearly kills her and Violet both. And so Violet is born kind of sickly, and she's very frail, very small framed. And they never say it, they never like name it, but she has what we would call Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and osteogenesis imperfecta. So she has very, very loose joints and very, very incredibly brittle bones. And so she's tiny, frail, and easily physically broken. And she's about to have to enter the Dragon Riders Quadrant.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's incredibly cunning though, and like one of the bravest characters that you'll find. And she's got somewhat of an edge over all of these potential riders because she's used to constant pain.
Right.
So where one of them has their jaw broken and they're like, I can't function, she's like, oh, my shoulder is out of joint. That's called Tuesday. Like, whatever. My arm is broken. Okay. So the very first task to even get into the Riders Quadrant is to walk the parapet, which is an inches wide and like hundreds of feet long. I don't even want to call it a bridge. It's like a little connecting thing from the rest of the college to the Dragon Riders Quadrant. And it's like thousands of feet above a cliff. 20% of each class falls to their death before they even set foot into the Riders Quadrant.
No, thank you.
And for months, because the book is this big, okay, she at least makes it across the parapet. That's a spoiler, but it's not. For months after that, she is reminded that she's too small, too frail, too weak, too breakable. She's never going to get a dragon to bond with her. She's never going to make it out. And then she has to also deal, you're going to love this, with mutual loathing from herself and Xaden Ryerson. So Violet is the daughter of the general of the army, right? Xaden is the son of a rebellion leader who Violet's mother had executed. She had all of the adults of this rebellion executed and forced all of their children into, they have to wear rebellion marks all over their skin, and they have to be dragon riders. And the thought is, I'll either kill them all walking across the parapet, they'll die in training, or we'll force them into loyalty, basically.
Yeah.
But Xaden's dad put a sword through Violet's brother's chest in the fight. So like, your mom killed my parents. Oh, well, your dad killed my brother.
Whoa.
Ugh. And your mom forced me into a life of service to atone for my father's sins. I was a child.
Whoa.
And Xaden is basically Ben Barnes, by the way. He's got onyx eyes with little flecks of gold and dark, like he's got like the Prince Caspian hair, but the swagger and like the I could not give half a shit that the Darkling has. Like, man's is perfect. Perfect. He knocked Lorcan Salvatore down a peg. Nobody's going to top Aaron Warner, but this is number 2. This is number 2 is Xaden Ryerson. My God. So the chronic pain representation is incredible. It's next level. The drama and political maneuvers in this academic setting are flawless. And like, I wrote a review on our blog. Please go read it. But I have trouble putting into words like how good this book was. I was shocked.
Oh my God.
Like I frantically like went and found post-it notes so that I can start making notes. About halfway through, I was like, oh my God, you could just put post-its and then transfer them over, because I have to have a book I can write in, because I had so many thoughts that I couldn't text anybody about because I want everybody to read it, but I wanted to like be able to come back and see if I was right. And some of them I was, and some of them I was so off. Incredible. Yeah. It comes out if you're listening to this, it's out now.
Yes.
Comes out Tuesday the 2nd. So I'm going to shut up now. I'm not ever going to shut up about this book though, because it's so good. And the sequel's not coming out until November.
Rude.
Fourth Wing, everybody. Best book I've ever read. Wow. All right. Now that I'll shut up for a minute about it, what did you do this week?
I met Robbie Couch and Adam Silvera. That's what I did.
You didn't. You don't even like them.
My God. It was so much fun. So on Friday, after my daughter got out of school, we drove up. Well, first we drove because it was in San Francisco. So I stopped at Linden Tree on the way because she gets out of school at like 2:30 and the event's not till 7. And so we drove up and we stopped at Linden Tree for a bit. And then we drove up to the Castro, which is where the bookstore is. And the Castro has terrible parking. So I knew that I needed.
I remember that.
So I was like, okay, I'm driving to the city during rush hour. So I need to go early. And we're driving into the Castro. So there's impossible parking. So we need to get there early. So literally we drove around the block like for 30 minutes just trying to find parking, which was fine. I was like, I prepared for this eventuality. So it's fine. We're fine. So we eventually found parking. It's like 5 o'clock. So we stop into the bookstore first, which was the cutest little bookstore. It is very queer and cute and adorable and amazing. And I love it. And I want to go back. We shopped around there and then we went and got like dinner. There was a really great pizza shop nearby, which I almost got this just for the name. It's called Oh Dear, I'm Queer, but I was not brave enough to try elk meat, so I didn't.
No, that's not for me. If I can't get it at the grocery store, I'm not gonna eat it.
So yeah, but it was actually, I just got like a regular pepperoni pizza, but it was good. It was like good pizza. You can't really go wrong with pizza, you know. But that was fun. And then we went to this ice cream shop called, I think it's called the Castro Fountain. The pizza shop is called Oz Pizza, which I love. Yeah. I love, you know, Wizard of Oz is my favorite. So, and then the ice cream shop was called the Castro Fountain, and some of the best ice cream I've ever had in my life. I had this coconut milk maple pecan to die for.
Delicious.
I wish I had gotten more. It was so good. And then by this point, it's like 6:30, 6:45. So we're like, all right, back to the bookstore. And so we walk in and I let my daughter pick and she decided we needed to sit front row. Literally, these are our seats and Robbie and Adam are right there. And so I was like, oh, okay. We're just gonna be right there. And I was like,
you told Adam you were gonna be in front row. So
I was like, so yeah. So we sat down. They are hilarious together. Robbie apparently hates birds. Which
he probably watched the birds when he was a kid. It's fine.
Maybe. They were apparently walking, saw a goose, and Robbie crossed the street and was
because
flipping
it looked like
off.
a mean fucker. Yeah.
So funny. Yeah, it was so much fun. They are hilarious together. It was so much fun. Robbie, obviously he recognized me and like gave a little wave. I'm like, hey, I didn't choose to sit here, but I like it. So that it was fun. We did the book signing, at which point my daughter pulled out the brownies that I had made because she was like, I want to give it to them. And I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
You do you. She was so outgoing, which is like
Not
shocking because
usually her.
yeah, normally when she first meets somebody, she's very shy. She'll like hide behind me. And she, like, when we got to the front of line, she got up to them before I did and was like talking to them. And I was like, who are you, child? I was like,
who body snatched my kid?
I know. I was like, damn, okay. So that was fun. I did show Rob, or no, I showed both of them technically, but I talked to Adam and I was like, my bestie met you at Y'all Fest. Here's the selfie y'all took together. And he was like, oh my God, I haven't seen this. It's amazing. I was like, yeah, it's a pretty epic selfie.
It's pretty freaking great.
It's
and
amazing.
My niece's face.
Her smile is everything.
Makes everything. Yeah.
It is amazing. And I love it.
Every penny I spent getting her there.
Yeah.
That
moment,
traveling.
That smile on her face is worth its weight in gold.
It's on her desk in her bedroom at her dad's house.
For sure. I love it. So I was like, we gave them the brownies and I was like, listen, they look awful because they've been smushed. You don't have to eat them. You just need to take them and get them out of my house so I don't have to eat them. And Robbie was like, no, I'm absolutely going to eat them. And I turned to Adam, I'm like, listen, I made you a baggie too, but then I realized that you're probably vegan. So sorry, I have nothing to give you. He's like, no, it's fine. So yeah, no, they were very sweet. You know, I love them. They're both like, they're so sweet. I adore them. My daughter clearly adored them because she was there. She was very excited. We did have a cute moment while we were standing in line where she was like asking me questions because we were in a queer bookstore. So there were like pride flags everywhere. So she was like, Mommy, what's this one? And so I was like explaining to her, like, that's the lesbian pride flag. And she's so funny. She's like, Mommy, you're a lesbian. I was like, no, baby, Mommy's bisexual. She's like, wait, what's a lesbian? And so I had to like explain it to her. And she's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And it was just like, it was so cute. And I had to like, I had to explain what queer meant. And she was like, oh, okay. Well, you can have that, Mommy. It says queer cocktails. I was like, well, technically anybody could have them, but yes, you know. And she was just like, well, no, it's for you. And I was like, okay.
Okay, baby.
she was so cute. She was like so inquisitive and asking all these questions and like all these things. And I was just like, sweet girl. The younger generation are going to save us. I swear to God.
Yes, they really are.
So that was really fun. And then at about 8:45, I got in the car and drove to LA.
Oh, my anxiety.
Mandy was anxious. I was legitimately like wide awake, did not feel tired at all. We stopped at like a McDonald's to get like food and I got an iced coffee and I was solid. I didn't even like feel like I was gonna nod off at all. It was the smoothest drive down to Southern California I've ever had and it was great. There was like an accident like at one point, but like once we got around that, everything was fine. So it was a very smooth drive. It was great. And then the next morning we woke up early and went to the LA Times Festival of Books where the first panel we went to was called Romance in the Big City and it had Jasmine Guillory, Lauren Congesson, Alexandria Belfleur, and Kate Spencer, and they were all so much fun. Alexandria's fucking gorgeous. I was like, girl, and she was like, I write queer stories. I'm like, sold. I'm sold. Give it to me now. Her latest book is called The Fiancé Farce, and the cover is stunning. I love the cover, so I need to get a copy of that. But it was a lot of fun. They were all so funny. Kate Spencer, I think they were asked something about like, I don't even know what they were being asked. Something about like other romance authors or maybe something like that. I don't know how it got brought up, but Kate Spencer was like, I'm a Ruby Dixon girl, and everybody just started laughing and cheering. And she was just like, if you know, you know. And it was so funny. And then we did the signing for their booth. Kate is also a podcaster, and I was like, come to ours. Come hang out with us. She was like, yes. So I handed out so many bookmarks this past weekend. It was so much fun.
I love that.
It's gonna be so much fun. And then obviously I met Lauren in person, and it was amazing. And we were just chatting and hanging out. And then we went about our day. We went to other panels. I met Dana Schwartz and got her to sign my books, Anatomy and Immortality, which was very exciting. She's adorable. And then I stood in line for the graphic novel signing while my friend took my kid to like the kids story time panel to see Storyteller, who's like a YouTuber who either reads stories on YouTube or like freestyle stories, whatever it is. My daughter was very excited about that. And so I met Jean Luen Yang, who is the author of American Born Chinese, and he also did the Shang-Chi comics for Marvel. So that was very cool. And as I was standing in line for that signing, I was texting Lauren, and we're like, we didn't get a picture together. And so she's like,
oh no.
She was like, where are you? And I'm like, I'm here. I'm standing in line. And so she and her husband came and found me while I was in line so that we could take pictures because they were like getting ready to go. So I met her husband, who's very sweet as well. And we got to take pictures together. And I posted to my stories. So I'll repost to the podcast page so everybody can see that. But we're very cute.
You are very cute. Yeah.
Everybody was very, very excited about our matching dresses. Like my daughter and I accidentally matched. And by accidentally matched, I mean we packed separately, and then the Saturday morning realized we packed the matching dresses, so we just wore them, and it was very fun. And then the last panel that we went to for the day was a queer romance panel, which had Patrick Ness, Tess Sharp, Robbie Couch, and Adam Silvera. And again, I let my daughter choose, and we were in the front row. And when the panel ended, we were walking in the opposite direction to get into the signing line, and my daughter's like, Mommy, I want to go see Adam and Robbie. And I was like, we're getting in line, calm down. She was like so mad that we weren't gonna go say hi to them, and I was like,
we're just not gonna ignore them. Who are you?
Chill, kid, chill. And I have 2 of Tessa's books, so obviously we were getting in, like, I wasn't just getting in line to say hi. So we were standing in line. Patrick Ness and Robbie like got out from behind the signing table because most of the people, I guess, were there for Adam and Tess. And so they were like just walking through the lines, picking out the people who had their books. And so my daughter, Robbie, when we got up to Robbie, she like went and hugged him, and it was very cute, and she was very excited. She was like, hi. She adores him. And then when we got to the front of the line, I'm so mad I don't have video of this. I already told you the story, but I'm so mad.
Yeah, I've heard this one.
I'm so mad I don't have video of this. So we were near the front of the line, and most of the people who were in front of me were there for Adam. There were like 2 people in front of me who also had Tessa's books, and they were the only 2 still sitting at the signing table at this point. And so the volunteers were like, hey, is anybody, because Tess was literally just sitting there because everybody was like, next in line was like for Adam. And so they're like, is anybody going to Tess? And so they moved some of us over to Tess's line. And so we moved over. I think there were 2 people who were like signing with Tess. And so we're standing there, and Adam's over here, and we're like over here, and he's sitting and he's like signing and talking to somebody. And my daughter is slowly inching towards Adam and is like, she's just like waiting for this person to leave, right? So she's just slowly inching towards him. And so he finishes up with them. They walk off, and she runs over and just hugs him, like sneak attack hugs him.
Sweet girl.
And he was, oh my God, he was so sweet. He like hugged her back. He was I was like, I wish I had a video of it because it was so freaking cute. I am obsessed. So yeah, apparently my daughter very much loves Robbie Couch and Adam Silvera, as she should. They're wonderful human beings. I love them so much. So yeah, that was very fun. And then Tess was like, I was so distracted during the entire panel watching you guys in your dresses because it's so cute. I was like,
you guys gotta stop being so cute.
I'm sorry.
Forgive me.
I
Jeez.
love Tess Sharp. She is like just so casually funny, and she's like not trying to, she's just casually funny, and she's like the best kind of chaotic energy, and I love it.
I love incoherent people.
Yeah, and I was like, listen, you would fit in so well. She's like, I'm in. Great. So that was really fun. And that's what I attended this weekend. So in terms of things that I read, last week I read They Both Die at the End. So, I technically last week I also read The First to Die at the End, but it was after we had recorded, so it counts as this week. Yeah, just
Pain.
Yeah, I finished the book half an hour before the event with Robbie and Adam, and so afterwards, when I'm standing in the signing line, I look at Adam and I'm like, "Listen, I literally finished The First to Die at the End 2 hours ago, and I'm so upset with you. How dare you?" And I feel like if I hadn't had the opportunity to like berate him, like I put that in quotes because I was very kind, but like in person and just like yell at him, I would still be broken right now.
Yeah, that's why my niece was like, "I'm sending you my therapy bill."
Right?
When we met him, she was
It
like,
was...
"I need you to know you broke me, dude.
Yeah.
You have to answer for this."
For real.
You have to be shamed a little.
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
So yeah, no, so good. So good. Heartbreaking, but
Beautiful.
So good. I will say Adam did mention the third Deathcast book is going to be worse than the other two. It will contain content warnings, and he's not shying away from all the things, and I'm just like, cool.
He teased a Deathcast in Paris book the other day. Like, if I could, he's like, "This is the vibe if I ever write a Paris."
The whole idea
I told
of
you via
Deathcast.
text, I'm nervous for that little kid,
bro,
because you can't create Deathcast and then be immune to Deathcast. You got that kid you love so much. I'm worried about you, kid.
Yeah, that kid would be, how old was that kid?
Little-ish.
Little. So he's younger than Mateo and Rufus, right? Yeah, he's a few years younger than them, so I don't know. We'll see.
And he could write a book anywhere on the timeline.
He really could.
So it could be a 7-year-old or a 10-year-old.
Listen, there's a lot of things. Like you can't read books where the dog dies. I don't know if I can like kids.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll read it first.
Yeah,
I'm heartless.
You're not heartless.
I don't like to read when kids die. Nobody think that. I just
and that's the same thing with me. Dogs. Like I don't like reading when dogs die, but I can handle it, whereas you couldn't. Where if it's kids,
I'm not a mother. So
exactly. Yeah. So I'm nervous and excited. So yeah. So I read The First to Die at the End. I'm broken, but not as broken as I would have been if I didn't get to yell at Adam. Then on my middle of the night drive to LA, I listened to Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jessie Q. Sutanto, who I love. Jessie. I love her writing style. I think she's hilarious. And this book was so funny. It's so good. Vera owns a tea shop, and she comes out, like, she lives above her tea shop. She lives alone. She owns this tea shop. She comes down one day to open the tea shop, and there is a dead body in her tea shop. And so obviously she calls the police.
Health violation.
So obviously police get involved, and Vera is so fucking funny. She goes before the police get there. She like brews tea for the police officers. She takes a Sharpie and outlines the body for them.
Vera.
She's like, well, I used gloves and I made sure not to touch the body, and I didn't clean up anything, and she's just like, well, where's your CSI team? And she's convinced like it's a murder, and the police are like, we're gonna investigate. And so she's like, the police are incompetent. They're not actually investigating this murder. They don't even think it's a murder. Comment. She's like, they don't even think it's a murder. So I'm gonna solve it. And so she like gathers together. She like, I think she puts like an obituary into the paper that says where this guy died. And she's like, well, the criminals always come back to the scene of the crime. And so then after she's done this, like, I think 4 people come to her tea shop who have never been there before. And she's like, these are my suspects. And so, but then she like befriends them all.
Vera, what are you doing?
Vera is so fucking funny. I love Vera. And this story is so funny. And I did not expect the ending in like the best way. And it's so good. It resolves so well. Everybody go read it. It's so funny. It's so good. I love it so much. And then on my drive back from LA, even though my TBR is 5 billion books long, I decided that I was in the mood to listen to If I See You Again Tomorrow. So I put that on as I was driving home, and I'm driving and I'm like crying as I'm like listening to it, because there are just some real emotional moments in there. And I'm just like, this is how I'm feeling right now. I just needed this. And it was great. It was fantastic. As it's still amazing. And I still love this book so much. And everybody should go get their own copy because it's 100%. A New York Times bestseller. Just saying. I'm still very excited about that. Then I read Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Alexis is a doctor. Alexis Montgomery. Dr. Alexis Montgomery. She works at a hospital in, I think, like Minneapolis or something like that. And her family has been like a part, like they founded this hospital. There's always been a Montgomery at the hospital for like 125 years. She's like, her parents were both doctors. Her and her brother are both doctors. Like, it's a legacy. And her brother has up and, got married and has decided, like, I'm not going to be here anymore. I'm going to move to Cambodia to be with my wife because he loves her. And, that's what you're supposed to. He's like, I can't have this hanging over her because
correct.
Their father is like not great. He's like, you are a shame to the family. You should be marrying somebody of your same stat. Like, his wife is like a music pop star person, and she's like successful in her own right, but he's like, she's no daughter-in-law of mine. Like, he's the worst. And so he gets disowned, and so now the family legacy falls to Alexis, and she's like, oh great, I can never leave this hospital. And she's like, but the book starts out, her dad sucks. So the book starts out with her, she's like driving through, she's driving home from like a funeral, and her car, she runs off the road because there was a raccoon, so she swerved and she's in a ditch. And this super hot guy whose name I can't remember, he stops and he like helps her out, and she's so funny. She's like rolling down the window like a crack just to be able to talk to him. She's like, I'm not getting out of this car. Like, I'm on the side of the road in the middle of the night. She's being smart. And so then she ends up, and it's like this super small town where everybody knows everybody, and she ends up at the bar in this small town, and he's there, and his friends are like, hey, they're like placing bets on like who's gonna go home with her kind of thing. And he's like, I'm not about this, guys. And they're like, you just don't think you can do it, and whatever. They're like trying to goad him into it. And so he goes up to the bar where she's sitting because he's closing out. He's getting ready to leave, and he's like warning her. He's like, hey, they place bets on who's gonna go home with you. And she's like, well, are you in on it? He's like, no. She's like, well, do you want to, like, we could split the money. She's like, well, if we leave together, you get the money still, right? So like, we could split the money. And so they like talk for a little bit, and they're very cute. There's banter. It's all of that. And then I don't remember exactly what happens, but she ends up at his house because he makes her like grilled cheese or something, and then they sleep together, and she like runs away the next morning before he wakes up, and he's like, I'm never gonna see her again. And she's like, I never have one night stands. But then they're like, can't stop thinking of each other, so she like calls the bar, and like they start dating in secret. And it's this whole like, she's a big city girl who's high powered doctor, and he's like the small town owner of a bed and breakfast, and the bed and breakfast has been in his family.
Very Hallmark.
Yeah, and the bed and breakfast is like been in his family for like 125 years. So they're both like legacy people, just very different kind of legacy. And so they're like dating in secret. And then obviously there's, going to be like that blow up where it's like, well, we're not really right for each other. And it's a romance. So happy ever after.
You know how it ends. Yeah.
You know how it ends. But it's very cute. I really liked it. I really hate her dad so much. I wanted to punch him on so many occasions. He sounds like a real winner. He is the worst. And her mother was just like an enabler because she wouldn't say anything to the dad, even though he was clearly irrational. Alexis has like this ex-boyfriend who is like also, he's like super emotionally abusive, and which is why she broke up with him. But they had bought a house together, and he's like, well, I want the house. And she's like, well, no, I want the house. And so instead of being a mature adult, he was like, well, I'm just going to move back into the house. And so he's living in the basement. She's living in like the main floor and is like, he's just there just to be like an
That's what
asshole.
Tom Sandoval is doing, like the Vanderpump Rules people right now. They were dating, they bought a house together, and he's like,
Yeah.
well, it's my house too.
Yeah.
And so he like sleeps
Yeah.
in a different bedroom.
Right. And
Gross.
it's
Get
so gross.
out.
Oh, and he gets up to go to work and cuts the power. And so she's like, I can't get to work. I don't know, because she's been pampered her whole life. So she doesn't know like cooking, cleaning, electrical
Right.
stuff, any of that. So he's like trying to prove to her like she needs him. And so he's like
What a
cuts the power.
man child.
He is the worst. He does get a little bit redeemed at the end, I will say, but her dad is still awful.
But trash.
But it's an Abby Jimenez book. It's very good.
Yeah.
I could not figure out for the life of me how we were going to get the happy ever after, because I knew that there was going to be it. And so I thought that was really fun, because usually you can kind of like, with romances, you just kind of get there.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure it out. So that was very fun for me.
Cute.
And then I read Going Zero by Anthony McCartan, and it's like a spy thriller kind of. So you've got the CIA has partnered with this like Silicon Valley, not a startup, but this like genius from Silicon Valley who's very techie, and it's like this partnership where they have this new program that's like top of the line surveillance so that they can keep, America safer, and they are doing beta testing on this program. So what they've done is they have selected 10 Americans. 5 of them are like security experts and 5 of them are just like lay people. And so they've selected these 10 Americans at a designated time. They all get a text message that tells them to go zero, and they have 2 hours to basically disappear, get off the grid. And the goal is if they can last 30 days without getting captured, they win like, I don't know, like $3 million or something like that.
Either heard of this, or there was a show with a similar premise, or a movie or something.
I think when I was writing my review, I saw that somebody said it was like similar to a show, maybe. And so then if, the program is successful, basically if they can capture all 10 of the participants, then they get this huge like multi-billion-dollar contract with the government. Gotcha. And access to like government secrets and stuff in order to like, which is insane. You don't want the private sector to have any access.
Never.
To be fair, I don't really want the government to have access to some of the things they do too. No. But yeah, so this is very much like a book where you're just like I
don't want anybody to win.
Second guessing all of like your social media choices. Yeah. Like how much information out there about me exists and who can access it. And it's not
just social media, it's Walmart.com,
it's everything.
Amazon.
Yeah. So it's just
if like you text someone.
For real though. And so there is one of the participants, her name is Caitlin Day, and she's kind of like main character-ish. Like she's the participant that we kind of focus on of the 10. And she's like an unassuming Boston librarian who they're like, oh, she's the easy one. She's going to be the first one we capture. And she proves to be the most difficult. Hey. And also there's a bit of a twist later on in the book, and you kind of find out like Caitlin signed up for this for way more personal reasons than like anybody would have known. Yeah. And it was very good. I got it as an arc and I just didn't have time to read it, so I read it after the fact. So it's out, but it was very good. It kind of it gives me the same like vibes as like 24, because at the beginning of each chapter it tells you like how much time is left until the 30 days is up, and it's super like it's just so tech driven and intense, and you're like, I don't know what's gonna happen next, and it made me question all the stuff that I put about myself into like the universe. I'm like, oh god, who has access to this information? I need to go scrub myself. Yeah. So, but it was very good. Access. I really liked it. It was very good. And then today I listened to The Glorious Guinness Girls by Emily Auerkin. I don't know how to say her last name. I listened to it on audiobook and they pronounce it, and I was like, oh, that's how you say it. And I promptly forgot it.
It's like me with Miss Marvel, how I could never get. Because I would be like, well, the vice president is this, so it's that. But then I would mix them up.
Yeah.
I'm stupid. I would
It's
just get
like,
myself confused.
I know. I'm like,
So
I tried.
yeah.
I promptly forgot. And it's kind of it's dual timeline. So you've got Felicity in, I think it's like, I want to say it's like 1918 and then in 1978, and she moves
Oh,
in with like the Guinness family of like Guinness beer.
mhm.
And they've got three daughters, and so it's just kind of like their lives. I don't think it's like actually them.
Actual people,
It's,
yeah.
yeah, it's like historical fiction, but it's just like there's the juxtaposition of like her life, and then they're like way richer because they've got all of this, and
Yeah.
they're society girls and all of that. And it was fun. It was a little bit confusing because I was just like, there's too many characters. My brain is not comprehending this.
I can't keep up.
I can't keep up. And it's like it was fun. It was good. It wasn't like it's not something that I'm gonna be like, everybody should read this, but it was like,
Yeah.
it was a good time.
Yeah.
So that is what I did this week.
Woo.
I know.
You did a lot. I did a lot. We did a lot.
It's been a week.
Do you have a fictional boyfriend?
No, but I have a fictional granny.
Hey, we love a fictional granny.
Oh my god, I wish Vera Wong was my grandmother. She is
She
so
sounds like a dream. She really does.
you would love her. Honestly, truly, you would love her. She is fucking hilarious. She is amazing. She is just so like blunt, and in the like, not in like not in the way where it's like harmful to people. Like, she's not mean, because sometimes
Yeah.
people are like, I'm blunt, when they're actually just being mean. Like, no, she's legitimately just blunt and
Yeah.
just says things. And she's so funny because she's just like, well, the police are idiots. They don't even think this is a murder.
My East Coast bestie is that person where she is the nicest person, but she has no filter. And so like she'll say the thing that'll make somebody uncomfortable, but
Mhm.
it's the truth. And she's not saying it to be mean to them. She's
Right.
saying it because it's the truth, and she's gonna
Mhm.
tell the truth.
Right. Like,
I
she's
love
not,
that. Yeah.
yeah, she's just like very honest. Like, there was one point where she was just like, well, you guys like each other, so you should go out on a date. Like, just
Yeah.
stating
What are
facts.
you waiting for?
Like, what do
Yeah.
you, yeah, it's she's
Do you
just
need an
great.
invite?
So yeah, Vera Wong is my fictional granny for the week.
Love her.
Tell me about yours.
Zayden Ryerson. My God. My man's looks like Ben Barnes. And he is, I don't really know if it's a spoiler or not. I don't think it is. So all dragon riders have like a specific magic that manifests once they've bonded their dragon, and once they've bonded to their dragon, in terms of we've flown together, we've gotten comfortable with each other, we trust each other, then you get your magical powers. He has his at the beginning of the book. This is like, he's a year ahead,
Yeah.
2 years ahead. Shadow magic. He can wield shadows, and they can, like, somebody drops something at one point and his shadow swoops in and catches it and puts it back on a table.
Oh.
But he can like envelop an entire room in darkness just by like moving his arms. God, so funny. And he wears fighting leathers to ride his midnight blue dragon scale.
Oh my god.
I'm sick. And I put it on my Instagram stories that like 99% of my book boyfriends are either Tom Hiddleston or Adam Driver, because it's just who I am, and I'm sick and I don't want to get well. But Ben Barnes has entered the chat. Like, oh my God, Ben Barnes has entered the chat. I can't get over this book. Like, I want to cry. I told our friend Kelly, they messaged me right before and was like, you're checking all my boxes. Like, when does this come out? And I was like, I'm jealous of 2 days ago me, because she gets to read it for the first time. And this was just one that my contact was like, when he gave me more, he texted me and he was like, there's 2 books. There's one I know you'll like, and then there's this one, and it was Immortal Longings. And I was like,
Yeah.
you don't know that I would like. But anyways, he knew I would like this. But I looked at it and I was like, I mean, it's a cool cover. It sounds good. But I didn't like immediately plan to pick it up. And I don't know what made me a couple of days ago. I was just like, I'm gonna read that. It's so good. It's so good. So Zayden Ryerson, though. Zayden Ryerson, my bad boy, dangerous shadow wielder.
I love
Love.
it. Tell me, where'd your money go this week?
Nowhere. I've been ordering I'm sure I can post pictures later. I've started like planning for Mother's Day. My mom is hosting a brunch, and so like my grandmothers are going to be there, my great aunt is going to be there, my mom and my sister. So I thought that I would get everybody like a cute little vase that like reminded me of their personality. So like my mom's is going to be like a book-shaped vase. My sister's is going to be like it's like a milk jug, I think, cuz she's like really leans into southern. And like one of my great aunts is a shopping bag. One of my grandmothers is like a orange juice carton, like a vintage orange juice carton, and I'm gonna put flowers in them. So I ordered like all of the vases, and I pre-ordered a lot at Barnes and Noble, which I'll show you when they come out.
Oh my gosh. I
But
need
I
to place
did,
my order.
yeah, I did get my April Patreon sticker from Amber D. Lewis, and it's Felix with Easter egg.
So cute.
And this is the cutest little envelope. Look at this. I've never
Oh my
seen
god,
one of
it
these
is.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I opened it up, I was like, oh, so cute. I love it.
So, but yeah, I don't think I got anything.
That's okay because I have
I
plenty.
got fairy loot, but it's downstairs because I didn't think you'd get it yet.
I haven't. Mine comes this weekend while I'm out of town, I think.
There's one thing that you're gonna like.
Yay.
Heart
I'm
over.
excited.
I'm very excited that we're switching to book only.
Yes.
Because I love the little tchotchkes. I'm tired of them.
Yeah.
You can only have so many book sleeves before it becomes
I
a lot.
haven't switched my subscription yet because I emailed them and I think I have one more box on my 6th month. Like my the May box is my last month, I think. And so they're like, "Well, your first renewal is May," and I was like, wait, I need clarification.
I got lucky because mine was a month before yours, I think, and so I am due for renewal for my 6th month, so I was able to stop it and just start it seamlessly over.
Yeah, my renewal at 6 months would be June. So May is my last box of the 6th month. So I'm like, I need somebody to clarify this because I paid for that already, so I need to know.
I don't want to double pay.
Yeah, I just need to know. Like, I do want this. So luckily they gave you 7 days, so hopefully they'll respond soon.
Perfect.
Was that it?
Yeah, that's it. I don't have anything other than that fairy loop.
I've got plenty for all of us.
All right, show me.
So as we know, I love Funkos, but I only get them of like basically specific people, not necessarily characters, people. But in this case, Florence Pugh only has Yelena as a Funko, and the original Yelena pop from Black Widow has been ridiculously expensive. And then I happened to be on Amazon on my wish list, and I happened to see that it had been restocked, and so I went to open it, and it was from like a third-party seller, but it was like, I don't know, like $30 something, and I was like, okay, no, not for one that has been valued at like over 100 at one point. So there she is
in a hard case.
I know, they sent it with a case and everything. I was like, oh damn. I mean, I'm gonna pull it all out anyways, but like, that's cool. So I'm very excited. There's my girl. She looks so good.
She's cute.
I'm very excited about that. And then I showed you this already.
Giant one.
Oh my god!
Are you gonna be able to lift it into the camera?
Okay, it might not be in the camera, but so y'all know I've been collecting these like comic covers, and they're like a decent size, but they're like not insane. Yeah. But I did see they had a Wizard of Oz one with like the movie poster and like Dorothy and Toto, and I was like, oh, well, I need that because it's my favorite movie, and I assumed it would be the same size. I was very wrong because look at this thing. Oh, it doesn't even fit in the screen.
So giant.
It's look, it takes up my entire screen.
Toto, though, a sweet boy.
Look at him. So it's very is beautiful. It's amazing. I love it, but it's just way larger than I thought it was gonna be. That's what she said. But yeah, so I got that. And then I think Owl Crate was having a sale. And so I got a few things, including a Wizard of Oz lunch bag. And then this tea rest and tea bag, inspired by These Violent Delights. So obviously needed to add that to my Chloe shelf. I got a reading planner. It's very cool. It's very pretty.
Oh, look at that.
It's like you can map out like this is like the monthly wrap up, and then there's individual like book review, and there's little headphones for audiobooks, which makes me so happy. I love when they do that. So it's very pretty. I love it.
Yeah.
And then I got an embroidery kit. It's a night court embroidery kit. I have never embroidered anything in my life, but I want to try it.
One when I was a child and it was fun.
I've never done it, but it's always seemed interesting, so I want to try it. And why not start with the night court, right?
I know. And you got several friends in the grimoire group who
exactly
cross stitch, so they'll love that.
I will have help if I need it. And then at LA Times there was it's like a truck, like a food truck, but for like books.
They were at Y'all Fest, or there was something similar at Y'all Fest.
They're gonna be at Y'all West too, I'm pretty sure.
Did they have like a spinning wheel?
I don't know.
Ours they just spin the wheel and get a prize.
They just had a whole bunch of like things that were like taped to the truck, and like they had a poster with like a bunch of arcs that you could choose from. And so I got Camp Sylvania by Julie Murphy.
That's cool.
It's a middle grade book, and it was the only one they had left when we finally went there. But I just thought it was funny because Julie Murphy, I know her from her smut. So I'm so intrigued. I'm so excited.
Range.
Range. Yeah, for real. She was a co-author on A Very Merry Meet Cute. Is that what it's called? Merry Little Meet Cute. So. Something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With some Sierra Simone.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah. And then there was these delightful stickers. Elise Bryant's delightful rom-com stickers, which is very cute. And then a pin for Lies We Sing to the Sea to match my bed.
That's pretty.
I was like, it's so pretty. So there's that. There were a couple other like younger like books and things that were there. So my daughter got a couple of things. So there's that. And then also from the LA Times Book Festival, we went to, I don't know, we were just walking by and they're like, authors here, free books. And so it's called The Threads That Bind Us by Pauline Lewis. The description sounded pretty good.
I used to be so jealous of kids who could make those things. Do you remember those things in the 90s? Yes. Somebody always had to start one for me. I could finish it. I could continue it, but I couldn't start it.
That was always the problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't remember what it's about, but it sounded interesting. So I picked that up. So that was from LA Times. From our friend over at Here Comes the Nerd, I picked up this cute little Yoshi. It's the mystery colorway. I'm not going to say what color it is in case anybody, I mean, there's like one person who watches our videos, so she'll know.
And we love her.
We love you, Angie. But yeah, so it's so pretty. Sparkly. I'm obsessed with it. And then when I stopped at Linden Tree on my way up to Fabulosa Books, I picked up Throwback by Maureen Gu because she was going to be at LA Times. I did miss her because it was crazy, but she's going to be at Y'all West, so hopefully I'll get her to sign it then. Yeah. And then at Fabulosa Books, before the event, I picked up She Gets the Girl by Rachel Lippincott and Allison Derrick. I love this book. I love this book so much. And I love Rachel and Allison. They're the cutest. And Allison is going to be at Y'all West. So I'm very excited. I also had to specifically get this in paperback because Rachel's other books I have in paperback. So I have to get this.
Oh, gosh.
Rachel was one of the co-authors of 5 Feet Apart. And remember that whole drama that we had?
That whole debacle.
That whole drama. So I knew for sure that I needed a freaking paperback. And then from a Goodreads giveaway, I don't know how this happened.
You get so lucky.
I cannot believe that this was random. I literally cannot believe it was random because I won an arc of Unfortunately Yours after having won the arc for Secretly Yours.
I know.
That can't be random.
Yeah, that's true.
I like, what are the fucking chances?
Yeah.
Like, I can't, they say it's random, but I don't believe it now. I can't believe it now.
Tell me if you like August or if you're like,
I'll
like
let you.
I
like him on the cover. He looks cute on the cover, but after what you've told me, I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with him.
I'll keep an open mind. We'll see.
Captain America for me, and I'm just...
fair. Okay. Ugh. Fair. And that is where my money went.
And that sound means we have an intruder alert.
Intruder alert.
This week we're talking to Logan with Once Upon a Book Club, which you've heard about literally every episode.
Literally.
On this podcast.
We have talked about Once Upon a Book Club forever.
Love it. Appreciate it. Hello. I'm so excited to be here.
Thanks for
We're
coming
happy to
on. We're so
have
excited to
you.
have you.
This is going to be so fun. So I don't want to say for anybody who hasn't been listening, if you've had your head under a rock, then do you want to give us like the lowdown of what like the premise of Once Upon a Book Club is, or like why
Yeah.
people should be subscribers?
Oh, I can definitely do that. It's my convention spiel. Yeah, no, so we're a monthly subscription box that includes a newly released book and like 3 to 5 wrapped gifts labeled with page numbers. So as you read the book, you are prompted to open your gift on those specific page numbers because the items inside the gifts are something that is actually described in the book. So it's like a really interactive and fun way to read, and it kind of motivates you to keep reading because you want to open your gifts, but you can't until you hit the page number. So it's a lot of fun.
It
is so much fun. And like fun for so many different people. I got my mom and my grandmother boxes, one for Christmas and one for Mother's Day last year. And my mom got the one at Christmas and she was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever experienced. I need the website right now because I have to order some of these as Christmas gifts for next year. So she's like, she was so excited. She's a book nerd too. So she was like, this is the coolest thing I have ever had with a book.
It's such a fun concept. And when y'all came out with the middle grade, I was talking to my daughter about it, and she gets so excited to see her own box because the boxes are color coordinated. So there's middle grade, young adult, and adult. And so each grade level, I guess, whatever you want to call it, is a different color. And so when she sees like that yellow box comes in, she's like, oh my God, it's mine.
I love it. I was really
excited
because for a long time we had talked about doing middle grade, and then we never, like, it took us a while to just kick it off because of the pandemic and everything. So when we finally were like, okay, we're going to do it, I was like, I've had this idea to do a yellow box. Can we do a yellow box? And I was so excited that was taken and like used. I was like, yay, my yellow box.
I don't know why, but yellow seems like perfect for middle grade books.
It really does.
Like, sunshiny and perfect and wonderful, and like inspires little kids to want to read.
Right? That was where I was going with it.
That is so perfect.
It's great.
And if you line up all three like together, the green, the pink, and the yellow, it looks so cute. Like that color palette is just fantastic.
Now I kind of want to do
it's
that.
Everything. I was gonna say my boxes are across the room.
I was like, hold on, now I want to put mine together like that.
I used to have them on my shelf behind me, but I ran out of like, I needed to put books on my bookshelf. So now they're like lined up on a floor because I don't take the book out of the box until I've read it. And so I have a few that I still need
appreciate
to
you.
I'm like, I can't. I don't even want to remove anything until I read it.
Exactly.
So when did you start working with Once Upon a Book Club? Like, how long have you been a part of the
So the company started in July of 2016, and I actually joined in October of 2016. So I was since the beginning. I've been around.
That is so cool.
That's
You're
awesome.
Like a founding member.
I like to think so.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's a day in the life like at the office?
So my position is director of customer experience. So I do a little bit of everything, like anything that can affect our customers is my responsibility. So I am like talking to our logistics coordinator and being like, where's our stuff? And I'm going into the warehouse and I'm talking to them and seeing like, how's it going? We getting stuff shipped. And then I'm at customer service and like, what kind of complaints are we getting? Are we getting any complaints? Are people like thrilled? And, you know, I'm just kind of everywhere. I'm talking to our marketing lead. I'm talking to our CEO. I'm trying to like juggle everyone and make sure everyone is happy, including our customers. So it's a lot of fun. It's different like every day though.
There's not like a normal.
I have to say the customer service is exceptional. Like I reached out about something a while back and I had like an immediate response and a immediate like solution, and it was above and beyond anything that I could have ever expected. And
thank you.
Y'all do a great job there. It makes me
so many people like think we're like a huge company and we've got, 30 people on staff. And when we don't get back to you super quick, they're like, what's going on? It's been 4 hours since I sent my email. Why haven't you gotten back to me? But we're literally like, our total company is 9 people. We have 2 customer service reps, and both of Autumn and Tristan, they are amazing. They excel and they keep that inbox clear, like as best they can. So like they are getting back to people so fast, and they do do an awesome job.
I see in like the Facebook group, you'll have people who are like, oh my God, my box arrived and it looks like somebody kicked a hole in it. And it's always like, no questions asked, send us an email and we will get your, a replacement box. It's
Yeah.
fine. Like, I love that. Just seeing like, even on the Facebook page, I'll spring into action so fast at like the hint of anything. And like, it's not your fault if the post office sucks.
Oh yeah,
but,
like I can
handle it
promise you,
anyways.
we did not kick that hole in the box.
Right.
We did. That was not our goal.
You didn't accidentally put a whole, what was it once? A whole turkey or something in a box?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was so funny.
So listeners, somebody posted, I think it was in their Facebook group, that they like their box looked like it had been open and there was like a whole turkey shoved into the box.
Yep. We've had some weird things. So we figured out that USPS essentially, like if a box opens on the line, like it isn't sealed right, they literally will just grab whatever's nearest and like shove it back in the box and then seal it up and send it. And we've had some weird things. We had a very like patriotic belt buckle. We had a bottle of Viagra. We had weed gummies. Like we've had a lot of things like show, and people are like, you sent this to me. And we're like, we promise you we did not.
Viagra is the page 35 gift.
Yeah, right? Like, it was a sexy book. Like I don't know.
We forgot the post-it notes. Sorry. Jeez.
So great.
That is hilarious. I love that.
My gosh. That is
The whole turkey
funny.
was pretty wild though. Like I feel bad for whoever was expecting that and didn't get it.
I know. Well, when I first saw the photo, I thought it was a pie.
I thought it was a joke. I thought somebody like was like making a joke, like here's my box, and then they put a turkey in it. Like, no, they actually received it like that.
But then, like, who's mailing a turkey?
I don't know that I would want to eat that. Like, I don't know how it's packaged.
Like mailed baked goods. Okay, if I could tell it hadn't been tampered with, I'll eat a mailed baked good. Meat.
And it was like it was like a fully cooked turkey too. Like, what are you doing right now? I don't understand. Oh my God. That was I legitimately thought somebody was just like joking around, and I went into the comments and they're like, no, I received that. Damn.
Wild.
Once Upon a Book Club's going all out for the holidays.
Yeah, well, we were like, either Thanksgiving is coming. We want to make sure that you're like stocked.
Yeah. We don't want you to be hungry while you're reading your book.
Right.
So what is your favorite box that you guys have done? Like, do you have a standout favorite?
Okay, so I think I have to like separate this into categories. My favorite book we've ever done. So I have had a lot of hats at Once Upon a Book Club. Like my current job is director of customer experience, but like when I started, I was just customer service, and I was just like helping out the CFO. And then I transitioned into young adult curator. So I actually read and curated the young adult boxes for about 3 years, which was a blast. It is a hard job, but it is awesome. So from that, I think I picked my favorite book that we've ever done was it was called Lovely War by Julie Berry. She's phenomenal, but it's a really cool historical fiction fantasy told from the perspective of Aphrodite. It's so good.
Oh,
it is like nobody talks
about
about this book. It's amazing, but it's Aphrodite in World War II talking about the greatest love story she ever heard. And it's World War I love story. She's like flashing back to that. It's so good. Like
I love everything about this.
Wait, what is this called?
I'm adding this to my TBR right now.
It's called Lovely War by Julie Berry.
Lovely War by Julie Berry.
So good. Like one of my favorite books of all time.
My God.
That sounds
amazing.
And she's telling a love story to Hermes and Ares because Hermes is her husband, right? In Greek mythology.
Yeah.
Not Hermes.
No.
Hephaestus.
No.
Hephaestus.
Okay. I was like, wait, not
wait.
Hermes.
Yeah. Hephaestus is her husband. He walks in on her cheating on him with Ares, and then she like tells him the story to like explain why like love conquers all. And it's just so good.
You had me at any Greek god.
Yeah.
So like
Greek mythology. Any
Definitely
Greek
a read.
and
I
a
like
jam.
cried multiple times reading that book. Must read.
Oh,
So that was my favorite book we've ever done. My favorite box as a whole we've ever done. I'm probably gonna have to go with The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. We did that in our adult box. That book is life-changing. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't read it when we first did it, and then I actually read it really recently, and I was like, okay, our customers are right. This book is life-changing.
Yeah.
And I save a lot of the gifts books and I don't open them until I do eventually read the books. Even though I
Right.
know what they are, I just want to like still kind of
You want the
experience.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those moments that brought that book to life, even more than it was already like mind blowing, were just fantastic. It was so good.
I love
I
that.
think I have, no, I don't think I have that box.
That book
have
has
the
been
book.
on my the book has been on my TBR for a while.
It's on my shelf, but I haven't ever gotten to it. But I've heard how freaking wonderful it is.
Yeah, I
Right.
really thought our customers were exaggerating. I really thought it was not. I was like, it's overhyped. Like, it's not going to be that
Yeah.
good. So that book
And then
is
you read
so
it and it's like,
good.
I love
so
that when things live up to the hype.
yeah, people told
Yes.
me that about The Night the Stars Fell, and they were like, "You're only saying that because the author is your friend." And then they read it and they were like, "Oh, wait, wait, it's actually good." So that's a good feeling. I think so far I've read a lot of Once Upon a Book Club boxes or books and boxes, but my favorite I think has been The Roughest Draft.
Oh, that box was so like it just came
Those
together so well.
gifts were so excellent, like on point. I'm looking at one of them now. I don't want to spoil it for anybody. Actually, I'm looking at two of them. Excellent, 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 excellent. I love Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broca. I think they're dynamic duo.
They're so cute. Their most recent book that just came out was Young Adult, and it was so cute.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
saw that. I haven't read it yet, but I did see that come out, and I was like, I need to read.
yeah,
so
yeah, they're
much.
really good.
Yeah,
They're
and I'll
so good.
shamelessly plug the Roughest Draft boxes on our website for anyone listening.
Go get it. It is
Yeah,
such
you
a good
gotta get it.
box.
And
Oh
if
my
you
gosh, it
use
was so
code
good.
Mandy10, you can get 10% off.
Yay. My mom, that was another thing my mom was like so amazed by when she called me about ordering boxes for Christmas. I was like, yeah, Mom, I have a coupon code. And she was like, what? And so she thought like I just had one off of Google. And I was like, no, it's like my name and then the number 10. And she was like, wait, you have a coupon?
I love it.
I
was like, "Yes,
am
Mom."
pretty cool, Mom.
I was like, Logan had my back when nobody else did. Okay.
Good. I was like, Mandy,
I remember when that happened. I remember
Yeah.
when it was created. I was there when.
I had one really, really cool TikTok, and I was like, the brand deals are going to start coming.
And it did.
And it did. There it is.
Amazing. You know how to make a girl feel like a VIP.
Oh, great. That's the whole point of that program.
It's great. I saw it on the website and I was like, well, I can't because Mandy's got it and we can't like do two for one business. So I'm just like, we'll just leave it with Mandy. It's fine. She shops there more than I do.
Yeah. I'm wearing the shirt.
Yeah.
I love
We
that
brought it
shirt.
around. So listeners, I have a Once Upon a Book Club shirt on. It says, this is a punny dad joke for you. The past, the present, and a future walked into a bar. It was tense.
That
I
shirt
love
still
it.
makes me laugh. It is so funny.
I
I
love
freaking
it.
love it.
Every time I think about it, it makes me laugh. It's so great.
Yeah. But I love corny jokes, so that's just
Yeah.
me.
Oh yeah. I'm constantly telling people like I'm a single mom, so I have to make the dad jokes because nobody else is going to. So I love
That's
a
a
good
good
dad
point.
joke. I'm pulling double duty, okay?
Hey.
So I want to know like how do you guys go about choosing your books and curating the gifts and all, like how does the box come together?
Okay, so it is a process, and there's a lot. Granted, we are a small company, but there are a lot of people that go into this. So we have two curators. We have Tiffany, who's also, like I said, everybody wears multiple hats. So Tiffany is our young adult curator, and she's the logistics coordinator and our shop manager. And Tristan is customer service and our adult and middle grade curator. So she is doing two boxes. Like, yeah,
Whoa.
I'm telling you, our team is full of superstars. Like everybody does so much and they're just all awesome. So essentially Tristan and Tiffany will either be sent books from me when I'm talking to publishers, or they'll just go on like NetGalley or Edelweiss or those sorts of websites that have like advanced copies. We have a business account, so we get access to a bunch of them. And they'll just sit there and they'll just read. I think their record is about, I'm going to say the record is like 13 to 14 books in a month to find the right one. Because, you know, it has to be a good story, but it also has to have descriptive items that we can bring to life. And there's been so many books that are so amazing, but they don't have items that we just couldn't do in our box because it just doesn't work with our concept, which sucks.
Right.
I just finished reading The Four Winds, which we didn't end up putting in the box, but we thought about it. And when we read it, we were like, this is the Great Depression. They don't have anything. Like, what are we gonna give them for a gift? Like, so it was such a good book, but like it just didn't work. But yeah, so they read, they figure out, they literally write a book report. It is the most analytical way to read. When people are like, oh, I want to read for you guys, it's like, no, you don't. Once you do, you will never stop reading. Like I still read like that. And I'm like, oh my God, this would make such a good gift for our box. And it's like, I'm not doing that anymore. But you have to like think and be aware of what you're reading at all times. And you have to make notes and you have to highlight, and it's a process. So they'll make all these little notes. They'll put it on our like database. Our CEO, her whole job now is really just curating those gifts. So out of like their whole big long list of items that they find in the books, she goes through and is like, okay, these 4 things would probably work for the box. Let me get a quote to see how much this is going to cost. Comes back, cool, it works. Then we go to our designer, Terry, who is awesome. She's like on the same page as everybody. And she kind of comes up with a concept for the box, like roughest draft, for example. Everything is very like beach themed, and like it all matches the cover. All the packaging is very like cohesive. Everything is very branded. And she designs all the customizations for the gifts. Those all get sent to our supplier, and everything gets packaged and wrapped, and then everything eventually shows up to our warehouse, and our fulfillment team takes all the gifts, all the books, all the paperwork, everything individually, and puts it all in a box and ships it off to our customers. So it is a crazy process.
Cool. Yeah. And you do that every month.
Every single month.
So how far like in advance do you have to pick the book? Like what month are y'all working on right now? Are you allowed to say?
It's really funny because we actually were just talking about this. And all of us are at different points in like the future. And none of us know when anything is happening. So customer service is always like a month behind because they're talking to people who just got this month's box. So they're talking about April. We're about to hit May. So they are talking about that. Our design team, Terry, is pretty much working 3 months in advance. So she's currently designing July. Our curator team has already planned through the end of the year. So they're in December. And yeah, everyone's in fulfillment, of course, is on the current month. So everyone is kind of at a different spot, but it's weird because nobody knows what month is what until we're like, okay, this is what we're shipping right now.
Yeah. Tell me what month you are working in. Tell me where you are, and then we can have this conversation.
Talk about time is a construct. Like that is the epitome of it right there.
Oh, it's crazy. It's so crazy. I am emailing the publishers right now about September.
Oh, that's so exciting.
So we have a segment that we talk about every week, and we ask all of our guests, before I ask you this question, I want you to know that this is the moment where everything that you've ever consumed in your life is going to leave your brain.
Great. I'm so excited.
But we have a segment called Fictional Boyfriend of the Week, where we go over and we just gush about our fictional crush of that week. It doesn't have to be a man. We just call it fictional boyfriend, but it could be a girlfriend, non-binary friend, best friend, whatever. So it doesn't have to be of this week either. Like, do you have a favorite fictional boyfriend, fictional person?
Yes, I do. I am currently reading Anatomy by Dana Schwartz, which have not read it before. I'm like 75% of the way through, but Jack can get it.
Karin told me I shouldn't read it because I'm very squeamish.
She's very squeamish, and there's a lot of like, it's surgery. So there's blood and then all that. So I was like, you would love it, except for you're very squeamish.
It's definitely like, it's not as bad. Like, I don't know if you guys read Unwind. I thought Unwind was horrendous. I had nightmares from Unwind.
No.
And I did not read the rest of the series because Unwind like terrifies me. But I feel like this is not as bad as that. So I'll take it.
That's
you
fair.
answered that like a champ too. Most
I
people
know.
are like, have I ever
It's
read?
like, what's a book? Like, what?
What's a movie? I don't know media.
That was impressive.
I would say I actually do have a second one. I just
have as many as you want. Yeah.
Name them
One
all.
Last Stop by Casey McQuiston.
Yeah. I haven't read it.
I haven't read it yet. It's on my shelf.
No, I am blanking on the main character names, but both of the main characters were like
I love
like
that.
the duo, the romance.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with them.
I recently read Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey
Oh,
McQuiston,
I
and
just finished that.
there's that moment where you can it's literally bisexual panic on the page. And I was like, I have never felt so seen in my life. I was like, wait, that is exactly how I reacted when I realized. I was like, wait, hold on, am I? It was
I've done
I'm not
myself
even
a
kidding.
disservice.
I said the same thing. I was like, I have never read a scene that was so real. Like,
it's so accurate to
she did such
real
a
life.
good job. And I was like, no,
Yeah.
but for real, like, am I? Like, I've never
Yes.
thought about this. Like, oh my
Yes.
God, it was so
No, it
accurate.
was so good. I was like screaming. I was screaming at a friend of mine who was the first person that I came out to because she was like the person who helped me figure out like everything. And she had told me to read this book and I was like screaming to her. I'm like, oh my God, it's bisexual panic on the page. My experience is here. I love it.
I keep telling myself, like, I haven't read it yet because I'm like, I want to read it in July. And then I never, like, other things come up in July where I'm like, oh, I have to read this. I need to just pick it up. It doesn't have to be in July. I don't know why I like
It just
have that in my head.
feels
It was like
patriotic.
2 years in a row where I've been like, I'm saving you for July. And then
It was
July
so
comes
good.
and
I
goes.
was actually talking to, so you know, One Last Stop is two women.
Mhm.
Red, White, and Royal Blue is two men. And it was so funny because we were talking about it and we were like, well, you know, they're very different books. One Last Stop is very slow burn. It's like very, like it builds up. Whereas Red, White, and Royal Blue, they're like, let's have sex and then fall in love later. And we were like, that is very much the definition of the gay versus the lesbian experience. It's like lesbians are always slow burn and gay is always like, we're going for it. Like, let's just do it. So
I've
it was
never
so
thought about
funny.
That is hilarious. I never thought about that, but it makes
Lesbians are always like, does she
Yeah.
like me? I can't tell. Like, is she really actually into me or is she just like friends? Like,
She's just
I
nice.
feel like it's so much harder as a girl who is attracted to other girls, like to know, like, wait, is she just being friendly? Is this flirting? Like, it's so much harder to know. So I feel like the slow burn makes so much sense.
it was so funny. It was like, no, you're not wrong. Like,
My
love
brain
that.
has melted. Just like,
It's amazing.
this is insane. I'm shocked.
I think we broke Mandy.
Yeah. I'm like filtering through every couple I know, and it's like slow burn, or have read slow burn. Real quick. Like, whoa.
that's the vibe.
Yeah.
It's a great vibe though. I like
Oh,
it.
no complaints about either.
It's amazing.
No.
That's great. I love that. Y'all have recently started doing like special editions books. How exciting was that to get done? What's the process like? And that's it. Those are my questions. I thought I had another one. I didn't.
No, that's totally fine. So it was really exciting. It's something we've always wanted to do, but you know, it's tough, especially because we typically work with a lot of large publishers, and larger publishers are harder to do that sort of thing with. They just have a lot more regulations and a lot more essentially hoops to jump through in order to get that done. So we've really been focusing on doing special editions with smaller publishers for now, just because they are easier to get licensing and give us the ability to pretty much have more free range with what we want to do with the cover. But the ones that we have done have been so beautiful. And I'm really, really thrilled with how all of them have come together. But yeah, no, essentially it's the same process as kind of doing a normal box. We reach out to the publisher and we say, hey, we want to do this book. We want to license it and print it ourselves. Are you cool with that? Yeah, no, let me know. And we haven't had somebody say no yet. So that's great. But yeah, no, and then we get, the files and documents, and then our lovely designer Terry takes everything and kind of comes up with a concept for our new cover. All the ones we've done so far have been totally brand new covers, which have been really fun to do. Our first one that is going to be kind of just a color alteration is going to be the May Adult box, which it's the same cover. We've kind of customized like the back of it, so it's a little bit different, but most of it is just like color alterations, and then like the inside there's a lot of fun things. So yeah, it's it's still like a really cool process, and it was a lot of learning and figuring out like what we needed to do. I think the hardest part for us is we make our boxes very much a surprise. We don't tell people like the book titles before they buy them. We don't tell them what the gifts are. So everything about the box is a surprise. Like obviously you can email us if you want to know the title, but like we still don't reveal like the cover or anything. So for us to sell special editions is really tough because we can't show you what they look like yet, but it's like they're so pretty. We want you to like grab them, but we can't give you any more detail than that.
I love
They're
them.
worth it. They're worth it.
All of them that I have gotten are so gorgeous. I'm obsessed with all of them. They're amazing.
Thank you.
And it's very I've always wondered like what was the process to get that done, because obviously you have to talk to the publishers and stuff. I was under the impression that like you place some sort of special order with the publisher, like you sent them stuff and was like, this is what we want to do, and then they'll come back.
You definitely can. Yeah, that is an option. We tend so like that's kind of going through the publisher's printers, and that's like what we did with Bridgerton when we redid Bridgerton series, and that takes 6 to 9 months to like get those done. Ooh, so it is a like huge plan in advance, which like we just aren't there yet. Like I said, like our designer's working on July, so she's only about 3 months out. We need to get to like 6 months out in order to do stuff like that with the publisher. So we've really been leaning into like the licensing, where it's like they'll give us the book essentially and say you can print X amount of copies, but like send us the files and show us what you're going to do with it before you do that. So it's just like an easier way. It's like a workaround, which has been pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. So then you guys have your own, like, I guess not like publisher, but just like a printer that you work with that.
And she's so great. And she sends us, you know, like images of everything in every stage. So we can kind of see it come together as a book. And we're like, oh no, we don't really like that color, so let's change it. Yeah, but it's really fun.
That's so cool.
God, that's fascinating.
It is. I love all this like insider knowledge. I'm just like, oh,
do you guys want to learn a secret?
Yes, always.
June is going to be our first young adult custom. I haven't said that yet. Hints haven't dropped yet.
That's so exciting. Like I love that. I love that you guys are branching out to like the young adult space. Is it possible that you might eventually get to do it with middle grade?
I don't know if we ever will, because I know middle grade's very different, and we've kind of like, I'm sure you guys noticed like middle grade doesn't have the same kind of paper items as adult and young adult. So like we were like middle graders are not 7 to 12-year-olds are not going to want to have like discussion questions outside of like their schoolwork. They're not going to like want to talk about the book. They just want to open gifts and like have a fun experience. And then the gifts, we wanted to give them stuff that would, you know, make them acknowledge the book after they finished reading it, but it wasn't necessarily like a book report or something. So we don't even do like signed book plates really in middle grade, unless like it's a very like available option. We don't push for that or anything. We're like, cool, we got the book. Like kids are going to be thrilled with that. Because I just don't know that kids care necessarily about
my
like,
kid does. But my kid is my kid. My kid is my kid. Like she sees, I mean, I have special editions out the wazoo, and so she sees all of that, and we have like a local indie here that has like local authors that come in. She has a ton of signed books, so she gets really excited about that. But like I know that's not the norm, so I totally get that. But like she was so excited the very first middle grade box to open it and see it was like signed, and she's like, oh yeah.
We had a lot of fun. We were thrilled that the author came in, because she's the first book was Lisa McMahon, who wrote the Forgotten Five, the Wake series, and we did Forgotten Five, the first book, and she actually lives about 20 minutes from our office. We did not know that when we picked the book. We just like happened to pick it, and while we were doing something with the dust jacket, or no, because it wasn't custom, we were doing something with the paperwork, we saw in her author bio that she lives in Arizona, and we're like, let me email the publisher real quick and see like where she is. And they're like, yeah, she lives right in Tempe, and we're like, we're right in Chandler. That's like right there.
That was so cool. Yeah, I remember you guys posted pictures like she was signing them, and it was so cool. Like what a fun surprise.
No, it was really, really awesome. So it was really great to have her come in.
What a great way to like kick off that box too.
Yes.
we have another question that we always ask.
Okay.
And you've kind of touched on it some. What are you reading now? And like, what are your, like, if you have like one, I can recommend one book.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm currently reading Anatomy.
Yeah.
I've really gotten into Libby, so I now listen to an audiobook pretty much all day, every day. Which is really nice. I've been reading a lot more than I usually get to.
Yeah. See?
Because I can actually like have it playing while I'm working, and I don't have to be like holding a book. It's really great.
It's
So
the
all those
best.
people out
Cleaning,
there that say
working.
audiobooks aren't real books, y'all are lying. Because
Wrong. I
Listen.
consumed that story.
All these audiobooks has
I could take a test on that story.
Yeah.
Yes.
Audiobooks reignited like my reading, you know, like
yes.
like you said, you can just have it on and you're consuming something while you're doing boring work.
Yeah, you're doing something
And-
else, but you're still reading. And I'm like,
Yes, exactly. I
all these
love
people that say audiobooks aren't real. No.
They're
Mhm.
wrong.
it.
Wrong.
They're so wrong. Wrong.
Wrong.
So yeah, I'm currently reading Anatomy, which I have drilled people that have read it, and I'm like, does it end on a cliffhanger? Do I immediately need to get the second one? Do I need to download it right away? And I've been told no. You're saying yes. I've been told no.
Okay, so Anatomy for me was like, my thoughts on it are that Anatomy and Immortality are one story, and they've been it's not like a cliffhanger per se, but Anatomy felt incomplete to me. Like I was wanting something more, and so once I read Immortality, I was like, okay, I get it.
Now it's done.
Like it's, if I feel like it's a breath, like of relief, like I feel better. Like it's not a cliffhanger. It just doesn't, it felt like there was more story. And so for me personally, I would read them back to back if I could.
Good to know.
I didn't get to because they came out very far apart. But if I could do it again, I would read them back to back.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll put it on my hold list and try to get it sooner rather than later.
Like it's, like I said, it's not a cliffhanger. You're not sitting there like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? I just felt like there was more to the story. Like there could have been more to come. And so, yeah.
Good to know. And then a book that I would recommend to everybody, I feel like I already said both of them because they were in our box. I'm so sorry. We pick really good books.
You
like,
do.
Yeah, you
not
do.
pick books that like aren't amazing, but really, really, really love Lovely War. It's like one of my all-time favorite books of all time. But I will recommend a book that's not in our box. I'll do
Hey.
it. Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Sepetys is one of the best historical fiction novels I've ever read in my entire
All
life.
right, I'm adding
I
that
love
too.
it.
Prepare to cry.
I picked up one of her books when I was on vacation with Mandy, and I picked it. This is so dumb. I pulled out the book and I opened the front cover, like the dust jacket, to read the synopsis. And the very first thing it says is Romania 1989, and that's all I needed. I
just finished that one.
I was like, Sebastian Stan was born in Romania, and I was born in 1989. This book was made for me. That's all I needed. So it's on my shelf. I haven't read it yet.
But
You said
that's
two words, and I knew exactly which one you're talking about. I just finished it. It's so good.
I've only heard good things about it. So like, I want to read it. I just, there's
There's always so much to read.
always something. Yeah, always.
Yeah.
And I'm the kind of person who like, I have like 50 things checked out on Libby, and I'm just like, I have things to read. Why am I checking out new things? And then they like are getting to the point where I need to return them, and I'm like, oh no, I need to hurry up.
She takes it as a challenge.
I do. That's how I read The Prior of the Orange Tree in like, I don't know, what was it, 36 hours or something insane like that. I was very dumb. All right, so thank you, Logan, for coming and hanging out with us. Oh my God, we kept you so long, but
oh my God, no, this was so fun.
this was like this is like a book lover's dream, to get like an insight into like a little peek into the publishing industry. I feel like because you guys are doing all of this fun stuff with publishers, with books, and it's just like, it's a dream to be able to get all this information. It was so much fun, and I love Once Upon a Book Club so much.
I know.
The
You
best.
guys are so sweet. sweet. Thank you. And thank you so much for having me. It's been so great.
I was so excited to talk to you.
Yeah. When Mandy texted me, she's like,
not digitally.
Right. Mandy texted me. She's like, Logan's going to come on this day. I'm like, okay, let's do it. I'm so excited. Yeah, we've been so excited. And we've been talking about like Once Upon a Book Club since we started the podcast. So we were like, we need to get Logan to come on because we know her. So
we know her, we love her, and we want to talk to her.
Yes. So thank you for coming and hanging out with us. It was so much fun and giving us some inside scoop.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to bring you back.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I am totally down for that.
Yes, absolutely.
One last request. I need you to kiss your dogs for me. Tell them that their Auntie Mandy loves them.
I can definitely do that. They will love
it. All right. We will talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. She's so freaking cute, and I love her so much.
So cute. I adore her.
There was a few years ago, there was this makeup company that will not be named that was like doing a contest to be like I don't even really know. You were gonna get like, I guess, an influencer for their brand, but like we worked really hard, and like she was like my number one hype man about like getting accepted into that program and vice versa. So when we got into it together, it was like, this is the coolest thing ever. The makeup brand did not do so well, and we never got a thing, but the camaraderie with Logan was wonderful, and I love her.
Oh yeah, she's great. And I really do. I remember that TikTok that you did, and then I remember her commenting being like, hey, check your messages, and I was like, oh, I know what this is.
Coupon code Mandy10 for 10% off your order at onceuponabookclub.com.
Everybody go sign up.
Go support Once Upon a Book Club.
They're amazing. Not
small
only
business,
do they
bookish,
and literally the best customer service. Like they really truly care about their customers.
Genuinely.
And they go above and beyond. They're amazing. Go support them.
Are you anticipating? You're not anticipating. You've had such a boring few weeks. You're probably gonna chill this weekend, not do anything.
Definitely, no. It's gonna be the most stressful like day of my life.
It's the most fun stress.
It's gonna be so much fun, but it's gonna be so chaotic. I am getting up first thing tomorrow morning, and I am going to first go to Costco because my car needs gas, and then we're driving to LA, and we are going to the Fierce Friday preview for Y'all West, which has a bunch of authors, including recently announced Chloe Gong, which means that I can bring all of my unsigned books, because I was like, they're like, it's 3 books per author, and I was like, but I have more than that. But now she's gonna be signing 2 times, so I'm bringing them all. It's just happening. And so I'm very excited for that. I am having either dinner or drinks or boba or something with Faith and Victoria afterwards. Yay! I'm very excited. We haven't decided what we're doing, but we're doing something after I do Fierce Friday.
Make sure it's a cute photo of me that you crop in.
Okay, yes. So I'm very excited for that. And then obviously Y'all West is on Saturday, and I just printed out like the pamphlet like schedule of events, and it's chaotic and crazy, and I'm just like,
Karin, I have to tell you something.
Yes.
Printing out a schedule is not chaotic.
No, I mean it's
organized.
No, because there's so much chaos.
Oh, I know.
That's gonna happen.
That's why I told you.
Pick
the most important thing and focus on that. Per hour.
So I don't know. Oh, I think we like commented on like a forever post on Instagram, and then somebody else had commented, and then we got to like chatting in DMs, and we're like besties now. Her name is Megan. Hi, Megan. Love you. And so I met her in person at the book festival, and we were texting, and she was like, what time are you getting there on Saturday? I was like, well, the first thing starts at 9, so probably be in line by 8. And she's like, well, we're going to be there at 7, so I'll save you a spot in line. I'm like, okay, great.
Yeah, see? Just pick the most important thing you want to do every hour and a half.
Yeah.
Do that, and then go find something else if you have time.
Right.
Like, and if you can do more things in that hour, you're pleasantly surprised.
There is one arc that I have as like highest priority, and then everything else is just a bonus.
Yeah.
And
see?
I'm just like,
fine.
listen, I've got a whole separate human coupon that I will utilize to get extra stuff.
Just tell her to put on puppy dog eyes.
I'm just like, how are you going to say no to this?
Yeah.
How are you going to say no to this? So yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's going to be madness, and I expect to be running around like a lunatic, but it's going to be so much fun.
I have to say, the book festival people are the nicest. Like, well, I'll watch your bag. If you like, I'm gonna leave one of your something that you don't care about because you don't have to trust a stranger with your valuables, your wallet.
Right.
But leave that t-shirt you got, and if you have to go pee, and your spot is gonna be here when you get back.
Yeah, no, that's what happened at LA Times. I was in line for a signing, and Lauren came and found me, and so I was like, I'm just gonna leave this here real quick, and then get out of line, hug Lauren, take pictures and whatnot. And then I walked back over, and my bag was still there. It was my suitcase full of books, and I walked back over, and I looked around, and I'm like, I don't know where I was. And then this guy was like, oh, you were in front of me. And I was like, okay, well, I was behind him. And he was like, you were in front of me. I was like, so I go there. And he's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I because I got confused because they had moved people who were going to the other person. So the people that I was around were gone. And so I was like, and everybody was so nice. Nobody was like, what are you doing?
With my niece, because she was young and she was so excited. People all day were like, we were in front of you in line at this, but we picked up these temporary tattoos and we thought you would like them. Or hey, I know that you mixed up your answer at Heartstopper trivia and you didn't get the coloring book, but I got it for you. I'm glad I ran into you again. All day long.
Yeah.
Y'all,
book people are the best
West people are yes. There was never if you go to a Comic-Con, people will stomp you to get up to see, Daniel Radcliffe.
Right. No, book people are great people. It's great. Actual book people are just fantastic. So it'll be fun. I'm very excited about it. And yeah, I need to pack. But that's basically what I'm looking forward to. What about you? You have nothing going on either.
I'm so ready for bookstore date. I just can't. Every time I tell someone new about it, they're like, wait, a whole bookstore is closing for you. And they're giving you wine, and they're giving you flowers, and they're giving you 2 ARCs, and it was $50.
That's amazing. Did I ever tell you, that actually just reminded me, did I ever tell you? So we all know Linden Tree, my loves. I love this bookstore. They have a rewards program. And if you get to, I forget how many points it is that you get, but if you get to a certain number of points, you can schedule a private shopping party for you and X number of friends.
Love.
And everything that you buy in the store that day, you get 10% off. And the store is closed down. You come in and you get to have your own private shopping party.
Fancy.
And I'm like, if I ever get married, that is my bachelorette party.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So
dreams.
Right?
So yeah.
It's we'll do that and then we'll go to Disneyland.
Yes.
I
would fly.
That is, oh no, we would all fly as a group to Disneyland. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to bookstore date.
I'm so excited for you.
I don't think Josh has 2 concerts in May. I'm not going to either of them. We're gonna go see Stassi Schroeder live because I follow her on Instagram and I like her. I think she's funny. So we're gonna go see her on the 25th. I don't know. On the 21st, I think. And there was one more thing, but now my brain has left my body.
Well, we should tell everybody who we're talking to next week.
Oh, go for it.
I'm so excited. We're going to talk to Lisa Lynn.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Oh my gosh.
Freddie, you're the year of Cecily this week, and I didn't
Oh my God,
it.
Mandy! You did!
I did. It's because I read it as I was cleaning on Sunday in 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then
you
I
were
didn't
distracted.
have to. Yeah, I was distracted.
You were
and
taking
I don't even know if I put it on Goodreads. I need to make sure. But I loved it.
It's so good, right?
Yeah.
It's so much fun. And I can't wait. I can't wait to read Rachel's story.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I'm so glad. I mean, I know we were gonna announce, but
yeah. Sometimes our brains don't work sometimes. So we're very excited. I'm so excited to talk to Lisa.
And when we logged in today, I was like, I am so prepared. I've got everything.
Liar.
I'm never so prepared. Never.
It's okay.
I felt when I was making my notes earlier, I felt like I was missing something, but I was like, no. I was in
It's okay.
aftershock migraine brain when I read it, and apparently
You
I'm
were,
still-
you did, you had, yeah.
it
That
was
was
the very next morning. So
yeah. No, I'm excited. I'm excited to talk to
Yay,
Lisa. It's
Lisa.
gonna be so much fun. I can't wait to read. It's funny because like as I was reading The Year of Cecily, I was like, there's something there. I feel
Yeah.
it, and now that there is, it's gonna be great. So exciting.
I remembered what my other thing is that I'm
Okay.
looking forward to. I had no idea. I missed this completely. And Josh is right before we watched 65 the other night. I'm like still like I don't know how. The only way he got me out of this book was by saying Adam Driver's name.
Yeah.
You want to look at Adam Driver for 2 hours. Okay, I'll put this down temporarily. Before he started that, he was like, "Did you know that Mrs. Maisel is back?" No. What? So there are a few episodes out already, and then they're doing it weekly because they want to be annoying. I got rid of cable for a reason, but here we are back again. So I'm probably gonna spend at least some time this weekend catching up on Mrs. Maisel, the marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Exciting.
Yeah,
Fun
I'm ready for
times.
that.
Yay.
Is it time to do a spiel?
It is time. I'm ready to be done. I'm so
Me
tired.
too. I'm so tired. It's 11:15.
I'm so sorry. I'm tired.
It's okay.
Okay. If y'all enjoyed this episode, please like, follow, and subscribe wherever you are listening to us. Please follow us on social media. We're on Instagram and TikTok at The Incoherent Fangirl and Twitter at Incoherent Girls. Even though we hate
Ooh.
Twitter, they're the worst.
Twitter, you suck.
Twitter's being weird. Did you see how they're giving blue check marks to people who have like passed?
Are dead.
Yeah, like what is happening over at Twitter?
And then
It's
he
insane.
wants to call it Titter.
Ew.
There was something where he wanted to change the sign.
No,
I don't know. I don't remember, but he wanted to like paint over the sign to where it says Titter because he thought it was funny.
Oh my god, it's so dumb. Anyways, we're there. We don't like it, but we're there.
Mm.
Please also like our Facebook page and then head over to our website, theincoherentfangirl.com, where you can also stream all of our episodes as well as read our blog. Mandy is very excited about The Fourth Wing. You should read her blog about that. But there are also many other blog posts with many other reviews and book recommendations if that is your jam. And if you would like to see our beautiful faces, you can subscribe to our Patreon. Go to theincoherentfangirl.com/Patreon to sign up. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, or suggestions, you just want to tell us that we're pretty, you can also email us, theincoherentfangirl@gmail.com. We love hearing from y'all. And one final way to support the podcast is to rate and review on whatever platform you're listening to us on. That would be amazing. And finally,
Yes, it
she is at Mandy Perv on all the things.
And she's at Ms. Made in China on all the things.
Once you followed us on social media and you followed the podcast on social media, you can head over and do some self-care with some shopping. Visit our internet besties, starting with herecomesthenerd.com, where you can use code FANGIRL to get 20% off your first order.
And then, oh my gosh, now you guys have met Logan. She's so freaking wonderful. So head over to onceuponabookclub.com to support Logan and all of our wonderful besties at Once Upon a Book Club and use code Mandy10 for 10% off.
And the roughest draft, the box, is on the website, like Logan
Guys,
said.
get that box. It is so good. And the gifts are like impeccable.
And once you've done that, you can head over to grimoiretea.com, use code FANGIRLT to get 10% off your order. But remember, there's no I in Fangirl. It's FANGRLTEA.
And last but certainly not least, we cannot leave out our wonderful Amber D. Lewis. You've got to read the Fire and Starlight Saga. Epic, wonderful. So head over to amberdlewis.com and use code FANGIRL10 for 10% off your order.
And remember, we will lie for you. If somebody is judging your spending, just tell them it was a gift from us. You won a contest.
You won a contest, or
Something.
we're gifting you something, and we will cover for you.
We
If
will.
you got somebody who needs to DM us and be like, did they order? No,
Yes, it was us.
it was a present.
They won some. It was a gift. We sent it to them. I don't know.
And don't forget, unrelated to coupon codes, but don't forget that our show husband has a podcast now too. So it's called The Paranormal Mind. Go look that up, and go look up The Paranormal Mind and Searchers Believe on YouTube. They've started a YouTube series that is insanely good, if I do say so myself. And I am gunning for the next episode. Somebody might be in the credits because somebody cooked a lot of food for an entire crew. Somebody was craft services. So maybe yours truly's
Maybe
name will be in the
you'll
credits on the
see a
next
familiar name.
one. And there's got to be some footage of George Bailey because he was on this trip too. So you may see the cutest show dog in the world's face too.
Yeah, it's pretty cute. It's
So
pretty
yeah,
cute.
searchersbelieve.com and the Paranormal Mind. Go give them a like, follow, subscribe, watch all the things. We got to support the
Yay.
show husband so the show
Yes.
husband can support us.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's all it's about.
And then go read Fourth Wing. And that was the incoherent. I'm going to be so freaking insufferable about this book. I just need you guys to prepare because
the way that she was when she first read the Fire and Starlight saga is going to be the way she is about this book. Probably
I was going to
times
say
a million.
I haven't had to write in a book like this since I read The Night the Stars Fell. Yeah, I was trying to call it Fire and Starlight. No, The Night the Stars Fell. Like I haven't felt about a book like I have, but about a book like this since that book.
That's crazy.
So freaking good. And you saw how good Night Stars Fell was.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Just wait.
I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm not gonna tell you I'm reading it and then just be like, meh.
If you say meh, I will come to your house. I will people's elbow you so hard on the top of your little head.
Listen, don't threaten me with a good time. You're gonna come here? I'm saying meh right now. Let's go.
Oh, wait. There's also an Ansel Diggory-esque character in here that he's not little, he's not younger, but he is an angel. An angel.
Wait, did you see the cover reveal for the Scarlet Veil?
So gorgeous.
Oh my god. Shelby, I need to have words with Shelby.
I know. She's got to pay for my therapy too.
So much therapy. Yeah.
And that
was the incoherent
fangirl. Thanks for listening.
We love you.
We love you.
Bye.
We are sponsored by our friends at Here Comes the Nerd. Pins, stickers, magnets, and more. Here Comes the Nerd has happy art for all fandom-loving hearts. New customers can use coupon code FANGIRL during checkout for 20% off their first order at HereComesTheNerd.com. Coupon applies to ready-to-ship items only.